Hello there and welcome back to my channel. It's awful warm today again. I was out in my hut and I was looking around and I thought, what could I do today? I'm not inspired yet for Christmas. We don't usually start Christmas with the children till about November time, so if I'm not under a deadline it doesn't happen, and Christmas it's just not worth thinking about just now. Anyway, I make these things here for the bag toppers for my Halloween treats. Every year we decorate our house up. Last year I made 150 of these bags and they went in just less than an hour. I think the year before we made 100 and it was 35 minutes or something like that. And they were all gone. Anyway, this is what I do. I put my wee treats in the bottom. This is just what my son had lying about. That's no kind of usually what we put in it. It was just to show you the bag topper. Then I put the wee bag toppers on the top. We make these for the school. They're quite handy for the school. The children love them. So I'm going to start off and I'm going to give you a wee tutorial on how I make them. What you need to cut them out is the top note die. It was the Spellbinders top note die. Oh, you're a wee bit squinty. There you go. And it was the tallest or the largest one. But if you don't have the top note die, if you have maybe an AliExpress die or something like that, you want one that cuts 5.5 inches by 4 inches. And that will give you the size there. That will give you a good shape for your topper. Now, I did try it with these other Spellbinders dies, and I must say I have these slightly larger size, and they've got a stitched edge from either AliExpress or eBay, but they give you a wee tiny shallow topper, and it's not really, it's not the same. It's just not the same. Go with the top knot die, folks, because it's definitely better. Now, I started inking this one because I started filming earlier on and I thought I had got the wrong size of my die, but I hadn't. So, at this point, you would ink. I'll do the pumpkin one first. You would get your distress ink and you would ink around your edges. Now, I always just do the one side, but because I've said inking around the edges, I'll do a wee bit again. I always do one side because, see if you're making 100 or 150, one side's enough, to be honest. Because you're absolutely done the time you've done them. Okay, so that's your wee face, and I always put on a wee bit extra on the cheeks because it just gives them a wee blush on the cheeks. Okay, so that's what that looks like. Right, and what else you would need for this is 2 white circles at 1 inch for the eyes, 2 1/2-inch circles. And see like that one there? See, where are we? See how it's got a wee tiny nick out it? Doesn't matter. You can cover that up. You can hide that. So don't worry about that. Okay. You need a 1 inch orange circle. One of. And you need a 1/2 inch orange circle as well. Okay. And if you're going to put a wee leaf on, you can either use a punch or a die if you have one. If you don't have one, because not everybody has these things, you get your card and just cut out a kind of whatever shape you want. I'm going to make the wee stump this time. You know how it's got the wee stump? So I'm just wiggling the card, jiggling the card round about, and I'm making a wee rough stump shape. Okay, then I would edge that with the green ink. Just for a wee bit. Now I've got these finger daubers, but I have to say I like my wee felt squares better than I like these. But my felt squares are outside, so I had them in earlier on as well and I took them back out. These finger daubers, not my cup of tea, but I use them. Other people might like them. So there you go. You just edge up your wee thing as well, your wee stump, as I called it. Right, so that will go on the top. You can stick that on the top up there. Need your die. Right, I'm going to stick my eyes on, because if I don't stick my eyes on, I'm going to get in a fuddle. No hundreds of glue, folks. Don't need hundreds of glue. It's going to be in their hands for about 5 minutes and then it's going to be ripped to shreds. I still have mothers talking about it. Mothers coming and saying, are people saying to me, people I've never met before, where do you stay? So I'll tell them where I'll stay and they'll go like that. Is you the house that gets decorated for Halloween? And I'm like, it is. Because my sons get decorated up as well. Now, see at this point, you can do what you want with your eyes. You can give them squinty eyes, you can have them looking up, you can have them looking sideways as if they're scared. Just whatever you fancy, play around with it. This is not a serious project, it's a wee bit of fun. So you try and keep it and treat it as a wee bit of fun. And I have to say, although mine's follow the same kind of pattern, they're all different. I just suit myself really. Right, you're going to ink round the outside edge of this wee thing here, the wee circle for the eyes. Okay, and then you're going to chop it in half. Don't be precious about it, it's just a rough chop. Then ink along your cut edge. My wee glue bottle's running short here, I'm going to have to fill it up again. And then see what I said about the wee thing there, the wee bit in the eye? See that? See how you cover it up with the eyelid? And again, this is where you can make them sleepy or dozy, dopey, whatever you want. You can make them angry, you can make angry birds, whatever you fancy. Ink up my wee cut edge there, put the lid in the ink before I stick my finger in it. Oops, and a wee bit of glue. Okay, all you're doing is covering the white circle. You're covering the white eye. And see how the inking just gives it that wee bit of definition. Just gives it a wee bit of shape there. Right, your wee red rose, this is your nose. I'm going to turn it over because I've used the plain side of this card. So I don't want to put the line side down. Right round the wee nose, or just at the bottom, whatever you fancy. Now sometimes I stick these up on a wee foam pad, so I'm just going to cut a wee bit here. A wee bit of foam pad to put on the back. Stick the wee nose on, see? And see, once you've done one or two of these, you're laughing, you've done it, you've cracked the formula, and you'll be able to do hundreds. These were all the rage quite a few years ago. I mean, I dare say there's hundreds of YouTube videos if you look them up. And there you go. Now, that looks alright the way it is, but when I'm doing mine's, I put highlights on them. See that one there's got white highlights. It's up to yourself. Some of them I put white highlights on, some of them I put black highlights on. This one's quite light, so I'm going to put some dark highlights on. And all you do is, the sun's starting to come round into my window here, so I'm casting a bit of shadow. You just do a wee line, and wee dots if you want. Try and do the same, with both eyes. Of course my pen's going to play funny, isn't it? Yeah. And a wee dot at either side. And I usually do a wee kind of thing at the top. You know, just to show a wee bit in the nose to show that it's in a curve. See, just like that. Your eyelids you want a wee, your eyeballs, sorry. You want a wee highlight, and again this is where you could put them in the middle and give it kind of cross eyes, or put it up the top as it's looking up, or whatever. Wherever you want to put your highlight. What I tend to do is go roughly where these ones are. I tend to kind of stick to the same side. The same bit. I thought my pen wasn't going to work there. And can you see the difference it makes? It does make a wee bit of a difference. I think it just gives it a nicer look. And there you are, that looks like a wee pumpkin. If you want to draw a mouth on or whatever, you can. But I always just count that as like the top lip there. And then you would stick it onto your bag. And away you go. It doesn't matter what colour of orange you use, they don't all have to be the same. Right, I've made quite a few of these in different kinds, so I'm just going to go through some of these ones that I've done. And I'm going to show you this one because this is one of my favourites and it's quite economical to make as well. This is the Frankenstein one. Again, top note, fold it in half, do your inking first. This is, what's this that I'm using? Mowed Lawn. And sorry, the orange one was Spiced Marmalade, just in case you didn't know. Okay, I'm catching a shadow here because the sun's just coming round the back. It's been a bit overcast today, and it's certainly been a lot cooler. We've had 30 degrees for about 3 weeks, which is not like Scotland at all. Right, a wee bit extra in the cheeks, as I say. I just like the wee bit extra in the cheeks. I just think it gives it a wee something. And do you know, I don't need to go across the top because you'll see why in a wee second. Right, I need a green nose. Eye, sorry. The eyelids. And a green nose. As I say, that's an X-Cut 1-inch punch I'm using. X-Cut 1-inch punch, and it's one of the wee ones that, you know, it's supposed to fold flat, but I don't know how you lock it. Right, and that's a Stampin' Up one. It's an 8/16 or a 1/2 inch one. Okay. Right, I am going to do my nose. And I'm going to work up the way with this one. I'm going to start with his nose and work up the way. Okay. Come on, glue, don't fail me now. Oh, a wee piece of, do you know, I'll just put it flat just because. Right, and what I do is I kind of line it up with this centre piece here. I just line it up with that. I'll get a wee bit of glue on the outside, I hate that. Here's his eyepiece. His eyelid, ink round the outside again. And if you don't have the inks or distress inks or whatever for inking, don't worry about it, do it without them. The children just love to get them because it's a bit of novelty, it's something different rather than getting held a Mars bar or a packet of crisps or something like that. It's just something different, and it's always been very popular. For about the last 20 years here, we've always done something. Right, here we go with the eyes. Now, when you're doing Frankenstein, when I've done the pumpkin eyes, they're quite high up. See, they are a wee bit higher up. Frankie, I keep it closer to the nose, and you'll see why in a wee second. Okay. Right, keep the eyes quite close to the wee nose. And then the pupils. And see, once you've got this wee basic formula, experiment, try different things. I've done Easter bunnies, we've done chicks, oh jings, ghosts, can't think off the top of my head. Scarecrows. We've done the scarecrows one year for the Thanksgiving. There you go, his wee eyelids again. And sometimes I do them different, you know. I tend to think Frankenstein's quite sleepy. I should have gave him 2 sleepy eyelids. Well, that's good glue, see it's stuck already, doesn't matter. Right folks, I'm going to show you his hair. I'm almost sure anyway, this is a memory Oh no, what is it? I said it was. There's no memory box. We've got a great big website as well. Anyway, it's just a grass dye. See if you get a grass dye or an icicle dye, it'll work just the same. Right, and I'm just snipping it across. But if you see what I've done there, I've left a good space at this side as well. Because see when you pull it off, when you've cut it and you pull it away, and it can be quite fiddly, and because I'm on here, I'll probably rip some of the wee things, but it doesn't matter, it's Frankenstein. If you do that, do it that way, leave a space there, don't go right to the edge with your dye like that, you know what I mean? Leave a space and then you get 2 sets of hair for the price of 1. Okay, now just remember, I can't remember the name of this dye, but it's either an icicle dye or a grass dye. This one here is actually an icicle dye, believe it or not, but a grass dye works exactly the same because I do have a grass dye. And it works exactly the same. And that's why you need to keep your eyes. I didn't ink across the top because you don't need it, because his hair's gone on there. And that's why you keep his eyes quite low as well, because his hair's gone on the top here. So you don't want to cover up all his eyes. And all you do, and I don't follow the line of the thing here, I tend to cut it quite straight down. And that's a wee odd bit, so it'll come off. Okay, and I'll take a bit of that big long piece there, so he's got, because Frankenstein's got a big square head, hasn't he? So there you are. For seeing as it's Frankenstein, we're going to do a line and some stitches. Extend that line, and I'm going to do the same again. Some wee highlights in his eyes. A wee highlight to show that his nose is round as well. And then the white pen. Wee highlight on his eyes. And then I'm going to highlight his hair. I bet that's a parcel for me. I'm waiting on new camping chairs coming and a new tarpaulin for our trailer tent. And there you go. There's a Frankenstein one. Okay, as I say, once you get this formula, go for it, make your own, do what you want, try, send me a message if you're stuck with anything. Obviously you need a bigger bag, but I'll put it on sideways so as you get the gist. You know, have a go at them. As I say, it doesn't cost you anything if you're a crafter. Most crafters have got card of 1,000 colours. If not, you can go to the pound shop now and you can buy packs of card that have got like greens and oranges and pinks and blues and yellows and things like that in it. So, try it, see if the kids appreciate it. I started doing this when my own boys were younger. And we've just done it ever since. As I say, my oldest boy's 25 and we still do it for the children all round. And they love it. I said it's just something a wee bit different. The next time I'll come on and I'll give you a demo of the other 2 ones that I've got. But that's the 2 that I made there today. Okay folks, if you like that, give me a like and subscribe and a wee thumbs up, share the love. And I hope to see you again in another video. Thanks for watching, bye.